You know that feeling when you're working 80-hour weeks and your team seems underutilized, that wall, that 90% of leaders hit around 50 employees. Moses faced the exact same problem with 2 million people in the desert, and his solution wasn't working harder. It was a mathematical delegation system that scales leadership without burnout. Moses was leading 2 million people through the wilderness. He was hearing cases from sunrise to sunset, completely overwhelmed. His father-in-law Jethro observed this and said, "What you're doing is not good. You'll only wear yourself out." This is the first documented case of scalable leadership systems in history. The genius of Moses' system was in capacity calibration. He created leaders of thousands, leaders of hundreds, leaders of 50s, and leaders of 10s. This wasn't hierarchy for hierarchy's sake. It was mathematical scaling. Think about it. If you have 2 million people and leaders of 10s, you need 200,000 leaders. But those leaders of 10s report to leaders of 50s, who report to leaders of hundreds, who report to leaders of thousands. Suddenly, Moses only needed to deal with a few hundred top leaders instead of 2 million individuals. The criteria for delegation were equally brilliant. Moses looked for people who were capable, trustworthy, hated dishonest gain, and feared God. In modern terms, technical competence, emotional intelligence, financial integrity, and values alignment. This 4-part filter ensured that delegated authority wouldn't be abused. Most leaders make the mistake of delegating tasks but not authority. Moses delegated both. Each level had clear decision-making boundaries. Routine cases stayed at the lowest appropriate level. Only the difficult cases escalated upward. This created a self-correcting system, where competence was rewarded and incompetence was naturally filtered out. The accountability system was equally sophisticated. Leaders reported regularly to their superiors. Performance was measured. Difficult cases still came to Moses, but now he was dealing with the exceptions rather than the rule. His time shifted from operational management to strategic leadership. Here's how to implement this today in your business. Start with a delegation audit. Map every decision you're currently making. Categorize them as strategic, tactical, or operational. Strategic decisions stay with you. Vision, major investments, key hires. Tactical decisions go to your department heads. Process improvements, team structure, budget allocation. Operational decisions go to team leaders, daily workflows, customer service protocols, routine problem solving. Next, create your capacity calibration matrix. Look at your organizational structure. Do you have clear layers with defined authority? If you have 50 employees, you might need team leaders handling groups of 5 to 10, department heads managing 2 to 3 teams, and you focusing on the big picture. The key is matching authority to competence. Don't put people in positions where they're set up to fail. Then establish your accountability feedback loops, weekly one-on-ones, monthly performance reviews, clear escalation protocols. The goal isn't micromanagement, it's creating systems where people can succeed independently while you maintain strategic oversight. Finally, measure your succession readiness. Ask yourself, how many decisions can my team make without me? What happens when I take a 2-week vacation? Can the organization run without me for 30 days? Your target should be 80% autonomy within 6 months. I worked with a tech startup that implemented this system. They were growing from 10 to 100 employees, and the founder was making all decisions. Team morale was low, growth was stalled. We implemented Moses' delegation protocol. Within 3 months, the founder's meeting time dropped from 70% to 20%. Team decision-making autonomy jumped from 15% to 75%. Employee satisfaction scores increased by 40%, and the company grew 3x in 18 months with the same leadership team. The secret wasn't working harder, it was working smarter through systems. Your action plan for this week? Do the delegation audit. Write down every decision you made today. Categorize them, identify which could have been made by someone else. Then start building your capacity calibration matrix. Delegation solves the scaling problem. But what about making the right decisions at scale? That's where Solomon's decision matrix comes in. The ancient algorithm that achieved 99% accuracy across thousands of complex judgments. Next video, we'll break down the mathematical system behind legendary wisdom.